Chainlink continues on its monster rally, up about 30% over the past month, off the back of some very big partnerships, including Swift, over a dozen banks, and most recently announcing a collaboration with Coinbase to integrate their base Layer 2 blockchain into the Chainlink cross chain interoperability protocol. Additionally, Ripple appoints a former White House official to secure their position in the crypto regulation conversation in the United States a couple of months after winning their lawsuit over the SEC. And last but not least, record amounts of Crow coin are being locked and burned as 25% of the Crow coin supply is now sitting on the crypto.org chain, with an additional 34.8 million Crow waiting to be burned and removed from the flow completely. You can expect to hear about all of this and more in today's crypto market update. There has been a lot of focus on Chainlink as of recently, with some major partnerships being formed ever since the launch of their cross-chain interoperability protocol. And rightfully so, as the CCIP allows for cross-chain decentralized applications to be built, connects private and public blockchains, and also enables token transfers across multiple different blockchains. Now, on launch, the Chainlink CCIP was supporting 5 different blockchains, including Ethereum, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon. And they have now implemented their 6th blockchain into the CCIP, as it was announced earlier this week that Chainlink extended this protocol to Coinbase's base Layer 2 solution. So effectively, what this will allow for is for cross-chain communication as well as Base to enable the development of cross-chain dApps and services. Chainlink also serves as the primary oracle for the Base network, and it has been announced that multiple projects are already integrating CCIP onto Base. So, Johan Eid, Chief Business Officer at Chainlink Labs, said in a statement that following the launch, developers have access to the leading interoperability protocol to easily build cross-chain applications and services. And Base creator Jesse Polak also cites that the launch will allow developers to securely build cross-chain apps, empowering them to experiment further and unlock new use cases, and very importantly, new liquidity, as now all of these blockchains are connected by the CCIP. The firm has also successfully experimented with Swift-based payments from top banks, including Citi and BNY Mellon, to various blockchains, most notably some of the private blockchains being run by these banks and public blockchains such as Ethereum and Avalanche. So here was the official announcement where Swift detailed findings in tests of Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, and effectively they showed that Swift's new infrastructure here in collaboration with CCIP could potentially eliminate significant friction hindering the growth of tokenized asset markets. The organization identifies one of the key challenges facing investors and institutions is the fragmentation of tokenized assets across multiple blockchains. And Swift emphasizes that cross platform compatibility is essential among these blockchains. Otherwise, financial institutions will be burdened with the complex and costly task of establishing individual connections to each. And that is the major problem facing blockchains and the entire crypto industry at the moment is the fragmentation of these different chains. And this is what Chainlink looks to solve with their CCIP, allowing for all of these blockchains to be connected. So in June, Swift announced their trial collaboration with Chainlink to basically connect private and public blockchains. And now it says the collaboration has shown its capability to serve as a unified access point for multiple networks using secure existing infrastructure. And here's a quote from the co founder of Chainlink saying, "It's now clear that both top global banks and leading market infrastructures believe there will be greater adoption of digital assets across the entire banking industry, and that this adoption will happen using multiple different blockchain technologies at the same time." The collaboration between Swift, over 10 of the largest financial institutions, and Chainlink also proved that interoperability across chains is critical to enabling the next stage of digital asset adoption across the global financial system. And this is also relevant to the Link token itself, as the Link token is used to burn for the fees over the CCIP. So every single time there is a cross-chain transfer using CCIP, a little bit of Link token is burned, adding some utility and demand to the token itself. And speaking of the Link token, I do want to take a quick look at the charts here. As we can see, that Link is in the middle of a range. It has been stuck in for 500 plus days now. And this range comes in between the $5.30 mark and the $9.30 mark. So a pretty big range here that Link has been trading in, but if you zoom out, this does look like a massive consolidation zone. And there are a bunch of different sayings for this, but the one that I tend to say is the longer the base, the more you melt face. And that's just to say, right, that, at this point, you would assume that by the time a Link breaks out of this range, that majority of the sellers have been exhausted and people really have been waiting for this breakout. I mean, you can see here that we've been rejected at the upper end of this range 3 times here at about $9.30. We've also been rejected multiple times at the $8.39 area here. And in my opinion, when Link does break out above this range, if/when Link does break out above this range, that is when I think the price action will get interesting for this project. And zooming out to put things into perspective, like most altcoins in this bear market, Link has been absolutely smashed down about 86% from that all-time high, despite all of the good news that has come out for this project recently. Now, I do want to talk about Ripple as well, as they actually appointed a former White House official to secure their position in the US regulation conversation. In a LinkedIn post dated September 26, Lauren Believe, a former White House official, announced her new role as the head of US public policy and government at Ripple. She expressed her strong sense of optimism regarding Ripple's future prospects. Furthermore, Believe shared the belief. Sorry, that sounds Believe shared the belief. I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, but hopefully I did not butcher it. So we're gonna call her Lauren. She believes that Ripple stands at the forefront of revolutionizing the cross-border payment sector, and further explains that her primary responsibility would be to actively engage with the U.S. government, ensuring that Ripple's perspective is effectively communicated within the regulatory landscape. Now, at the time of this article going live, XRP stands at about the 50-cent price range. And I want to pull that up here on CoinMarketCap because I do believe that XRP is in fact making a push in the United States. And their win over the SEC in that lawsuit that officially declared XRP is not a security, if that is in fact the official final ruling and it does not go back to court, that would make XRP basically the only altcoin that has any sort of regulatory clarity in the United States. And it would be pretty advantageous for Ripple to pursue the United States once again as one of the few altcoins with any sort of regulatory clarity, especially after the long winding battle that they have had with the SEC dating back to late 2020 that did just conclude for now as of, I believe it was in mid-July that this announcement did come out. So I think the fact that they won that lawsuit versus the SEC does give them some confidence in their ability to basically go ahead and take over the US market, or kind of like make their stance in the US market in terms of cross-border payments. And we know that the US market is massive for all kinds of markets, commodities, stocks, whatever it is. And therefore, I mean, XRP would have a lot to gain, or more specifically, Ripple would have a lot to gain in terms of getting more widespread adoption here. And if we do see continued and increased adoption of the XRP ledger, this could also increase the demand and utility for the XRP token, which is the native token for that distributed ledger technology. So important to recognize that Ripple is the company that created the XRP ledger. XRP is the token that powers the XRP ledger. So the two companies are interconnected, and the fact that XRP has been deemed a non-security itself, that is definitely a very big deal for this project at the moment. Will it go back to court? Will that be the final decision? Nobody knows, but as of right now, XRP is the only altcoin with any sort of clarity in the United States. And I think that's why they have made a push here by hiring this former White House official. Now, to wrap things up, I do want to talk about Crow Coin for a couple of minutes here, as we have now seen the Crow staked on the Crypto.org chain hit record highs, sitting at about 6.59 billion. And actually, if I refresh, that is now sitting at 6.6 billion. So if we take a look at what that means in terms of the supply for Crow coin, that is equivalent to over 25% of all Crow circulating, currently locked on the crypto.org chain, currently offering a yield of, I believe it's about 8.5%. So definitely not a bad yield at all. We're actually sitting at about 7.68%. Definitely not the double digit yield that Crow was rewarding earlier this year. However, if you do kind of compare it against other altcoins like Ethereum, like Cardano, BNB, AVAX, Solana, and Matic, 7.6% does still hold up very well in my opinion. And on top of that, this is important because the crypto.org chain, the reason I look at the crypto.org chain and not so much the Crow circulating on the Chronos chain is because when Crow is locked on the crypto.org chain, if anybody wants to get it back, it has to go through a 28-day unbonding period, effectively meaning that for the next month, even if every single person wanted to withdraw from the crypto.org chain, that Crow would be locked up until the unbonding period concluded. And on top of the Crow locked in the crypto.org chain, we now have record amounts of Crow locked in the community pool wallet. And in line with the proposal that did go live, I believe it was, I know for sure it was at some point earlier this year. I don't remember the month. We can see here that there is now cumulatively 35.2 million Crow in US denomination, about $1.786 million worth of Crow waiting to be burned and removed from the float completely. Now, this is kind of the one big gripe that I have had with Crowcoin is really just the supply, okay? Like BNB token comes in here with a circulating supply of 153.8 million, and they are looking to get that down to 100 million. And meanwhile, Crowcoin is over here with about 26.3 billion circulating. And obviously, if we could see the supply of Crow fall way down, that would increase the demand for tokens currently on the market, which would hypothetically mean higher prices for all of the Crow currently in circulation. So definitely hoping to see some bigger burns from for Crow coin in the future. And on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. You know what to do. If you made it all the way to the end, you are an absolute champion. Let me know in the YouTube comments down below and claim that champion status. I am wishing you all an amazing Friday, an amazing weekend ahead, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.